Good afternoon, y'all. It is Sunday afternoon. I'm a little slow on the garden video today, um, but I thought I'd take a quick little walk through the garden. Before we look at the garden, I wanted to show you what Pete and I did. So our patio faces west, which means it is just ridiculous hot, and we have just struggled with this. So we bought a sail and put the sail up, and it actually is making a huge difference. We really love it. And I think Blue likes it too. So we're actually sitting outside now and enjoying it, which has been very, very nice. We moved the patio furniture out so that we get a bit of a breeze. So we're enjoying it. And it was super easy to do. We, even though we can't dig post holes, we can drill them. So we drilled and put black pipe in there and then put these galvanized on top of it. So we're very happy with this. So I uncovered my squashes out here, which means now, of course, I'm going to fight bugs, but that's okay. That's just part of the whole thing with squash. So I've got a couple of zucchinis there and a couple of acorn squash here. So hopefully I will get some. I had to uncover them because they need the pollinators. So I'm just going to watch them real close. I'm going to pick bugs and see if I can get them to produce some food. The Kajari melons, this is the trellis. Kajari melons are ripening and I'm harvesting, and I'm getting a lot of them that are splitting. It's just they get a big bunch of water and they just fill up. These have very thin skins, so they split. Now I just give them to the chickens. So that's actually been fine. So this is that bed that has sweet potatoes in it and a little bit of a cover crop. And the sweet potatoes are doing really well. They're meandering off, and so they've definitely taken off. So that's actually really nice. So now I'll take my favorite little walk through my pretty arch, and you can see all the loofahs that are hanging off of it, and if they get in the way, we just cut them off. We're actually getting tomatoes on these ridiculous sprawled all over things. This will get pulled out. I just haven't done it yet. And of course, I just got flowers all along here, and I just think this is just a very pretty walk, and I do enjoy it. Eggplant is producing quite a bit of eggplant every couple days. Sent a whole bunch of it home with Ijan and Harrison, and you can see the loofahs. They are vigorous. They are kind of amazing. So the other thing we're getting a lot of pepperoncinis now. So this is a pepperoncini plant. That's a little one, but we just harvested a bunch of them, and Pete actually is in the house canning them right now, pickling them, pickled peppers. And our okra is, we're harvesting twice a day, and we're pickling it. So we'll see how we like that. So these are all jalapenos, and well, actually, I think there's one that's not. So I thought they were, yeah. So this one I don't believe is a jalapeno because it's very, let's see if I can get the camera in there. It's round. So I don't know what this is. But oh, maybe it is a jalapeno, and that's just a weird one because the rest of them actually are the right shape. So anyway, these should all be jalapenos, and they're getting ready. And you can see this plant has got quite a bit on it. So we'll start harvesting those and pickling them. My spaghetti squash bit the dust, and this other squash also has to come out. So we've harvested a bunch of carrots. I left some so we can just eat them fresh, and then we pulled all the rest of the beets, and that's what he's pickling right now. The sweet potatoes are a really fun one. And see if I can find a spot in here where there's potatoes, so you can see them. So we were going to harvest today, but we just kind of ran out of time. But they're getting big. So I don't know. This is interesting. I'm not used to them being so close to the surface. I don't think it hurts anything, but they are very close to the surface. And I don't know whether that's because the soil was compacted. But we'll dig them up and we'll find out. But I love growing sweet potatoes. They're a really fun thing to grow. And these have not flowered last year in the high tunnel. They actually flowered, and that was kind of interesting. And the flowers are pretty. So here is this crazy shishito pepper. It's 3 shishito pepper plants, and it is just producing so many peppers we can't keep up with them. I need to go in here and I need to pull all the red ones off and toss them. But it's just crazy. I'm shocked at how much it is producing. So this is my onion patch, and it's just one short little row. I've started harvesting some. When they flop over, that means they won't get any bigger, so they're time to harvest. So I've harvested, you can see the blank spots. I've harvested those, and we're using them fresh. I probably won't cure these at all. I'll just put them in the fridge, and we'll just use them fresh. Pete's using some for the pickled beets right now, and they did pretty good. And I did these from seed. So I'm going to plant seeds again probably in the next day or two, and I just plant them in a tray, and and then I separate them. So I will, and then I will put those out in about November, and then for onions in spring. But I kind of like this where I get 2 rounds of onions, because these big white onions are really, I think they're best fresh, and they don't keep really long. They don't keep for a year, not even close. So these are the pumpkins, and they've grown a lot in a week. That is a cantaloupe, which has also grown a lot in a week. Those are Sinjuiza pepper plants, and I talked a little bit about them last week, but it's pretty loaded. We don't pick these until they're red, and they're just interesting. I didn't grow them last year, but I did grow them the year before, so I just had to grow them again this year because we're almost out, and I like to use them in hot sauce. More spaghetti squash, which I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that we'll get some more because it is something that we really, really like. And then, of course, lots and lots of flowers. Just amazing flowers this year. I really, really enjoyed them. So the high tunnel is crazy, wild. I have been pruning and pruning and pruning on tomatoes, and I feel like I'm getting it a little bit under control, but the bug pressure is lots and lots of bug pressure this time of year. This year I have a new bug that I never had, and it's called the tomato fruit worm, and it's a worm that burrows into the tomatoes, and so it ruins them. So I'm pulling tomatoes off the vines really early now because otherwise if I leave them too long, the worms get them. But I will turn around here and kind of walk through the high tunnel. So my orb weaver is gone, and I actually used a butterfly net, and I caught her. I just, picked her up in her web, and then I took her outside. She was about almost 5 inches across, and I couldn't walk through here anymore because she's just so big. But I have pruned a lot. I still have a lot of tomatoes. I don't know how to end this little thing, but I know that I need to. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take cuttings of some of these hybrids because I don't want to start from seed. So I'm going to take some cuttings and I'm going to get those rooted, and then we will tear these out, these old ones, when those cuttings have roots, and then we'll plant for a second round. And while it's empty, because I do want to let it be empty for maybe a week, then I can really work on getting the insect population down. And I think, I don't know, it's always an experiment, but that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. So this is one that I actually grew from a cutting. This is a tomato plant that I grew from a cutting. And I've harvested probably half of them, and half of them are still there. But this new worm, it is new. It's really only been the last probably 3 weeks that I've started seeing this new worm, this tomato fruit worm. So this was all fallen over, and this is actually one of my paprika pepper plants. I put one over here and 2 over on the other side because I was kind of trying to hedge my bet. So I'll wait until they're red, and then I will harvest them. I'll probably harvest almost everything at once, and then I will dehydrate them and grind it up for paprika spice. So then we'll have our own paprika, which is really nice. So these, I have really whacked these back, and these are my roadsters, which I love these tomatoes. I had some unbelievably big ones. I mean, like bigger than a softball, way bigger than a softball this year, and so that was kind of cool. because that's, I've never really grown any super giant tomatoes. And then over here, my black brandywines, they're also a big mess, but they are producing. So I am harvesting. Oh, that one down there on the left looks like it's blushing. So I'm going to pull that one and take that one in the house. But it's producing fruit, and I'm still working on watering. I still don't have, it's so hot. I feel like I don't really have the watering totally down yet. And I've got hoppers eating tomatoes, and that's a water issue. They're looking for moisture. These are the San Marzanos, and I'm harvesting. I'm trying to harvest when they first blush because of the potential bug damage. So we got a little bit of news on the chicken front. Our baby chicken, which we don't know if it's a rooster or hen yet. However, it is going in the coop with automatic door every evening now, and it's sleeping inside the coop and coming out in the morning with the flock. It originally was not roosting up on one of the roost boards in the coop. It was just like laying down underneath all the rest of the chickens, which that always made me feel it was kind of sad. But last night Pete came out just to check to see if everybody was in, and the baby was up on the roost bar, roosting right next to Rocky. So we shall see. Hoping to, I just hope it doesn't crow this week. If it doesn't crow this week, it still has a possibility of being a hen. But it's so wild we can't catch it and get a good look at it. So that's just the way it is. So with my chickens in the background, I will say goodbye. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. And I love y'all. And I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.